Former President Barack Obama made a rare appearance in Hartford, Connecticut, and he stunned Donald Trump with a one-of-a-kind comparison that you need to hear. And he also stunned liberals in attendance with a scathing message. Please stand by because I have the complete breakdown of his appearance for you next. As context for this story, let's take a look at his previous most recent appearance at Hamilton College. This talk was different because he highlighted the sharp contrast between his presidency and Trump's, and he touched on the blatant political hypocrisy that we are now witnessing. Have a listen, and on the other side, I'll share his comments from last night where he took the gloves off for a shot at Trump and delivered a wake-up call to the liberal elite.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me I just want to be clear about this. Imagine that Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening. Imagine if I'd said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me or a whole bunch of my predecessors. So, and I say this not on a partisan basis. This has to do with something more precious, which is, who are we as a country, and what values do we stand for?
Of course, what Obama said is true, and of course, nothing will change. Intellectual dishonesty is now the foundation of almost every political platform and debate. Republicans don't own it, but in the world of Donald Trump, they have taken it to an incredible new level. But at least we can count on Obama to be a beacon of intellectual honesty, as evident with a critique of both Donald Trump and the liberal elite audience that he spoke to last night. The event was closed to video, but the New York Times captured the moment with an article titled, "Obama Back in Public Eye Offers a Careful Warning of Democratic Slide." He spoke about the risk of autocracy during an appearance Tuesday night with the writer Heather Cock Richardson at a time of deep volatility for his party, the country, and the world. And it went on to say,
former President Barack Obama warned on Tuesday night that the country was dangerously close to allowing its government officials to act in a way consistent with autocracies, offering a veiled rebuke of the Trump administration that was delivered with trademark caution. If you follow regularly what is said by those who are in charge of the federal government right now, there is a weak commitment to what we understood. And not just my generation, at least since World War II, our understanding of how a liberal democracy is supposed to work. Democracy, Mr. Obama said, requires government workers, judges, and lawyers at the Justice Department to uphold the Constitution and follow the law. It requires them to take that oath seriously. And when that isn't happening, we start drifting into something that is not consistent with American democracy, he said. It is consistent with autocracies. It is consistent with Hungary under Orban. He went on. We're not there yet completely, but I think that we are dangerously close to normalizing behavior like that. And we need people both outside government and inside government saying, let's not go over that cliff because it's hard to recover. On Tuesday evening, he offered a particularly stinging critique of affluent liberals before the audience in Connecticut, a wealthy Democratic state. During his presidency, liberals felt comfortable in their righteousness, he said, because it wasn't tested. You could be as progressive and socially conscious as you wanted, and you did not have to pay a price, he said. You could still make a lot of money. You could still hang out in Aspen and Milan and travel and have a house in the Hamptons and still think of yourself as a progressive. He added, "We now have a situation in which all of us are going to be tested in some way, and we are going to have to decide what our commitments will be. Now things are a little different," he said. You might lose some of your donors if you're a university, and if you're a law firm, your billings might drop a little bit, which means you cannot remodel that kitchen in your house in the Hamptons this summer.
Barack Obama, always the diplomat, has a wonderful gift for pummeling Donald Trump without saying his name. And in this case, he also called him a dictator wannabe without calling him a dictator wannabe. Instead, he warned us that America is dangerously close to normalizing behavior that mirrors Hungary under Viktor Orban, his roundabout way of delivering a clear message and warning. But Obama didn't stop at criticizing Republicans. In a stunning turn that caught many off guard, he took a swipe at affluent liberals. He called out their performative activism, saying they've long been able to pat themselves on the back while jetting off to Aspen and redecorating their Hampton homes. That era, he said, is over. The stakes are real now, and the test is whether wealthy liberals are willing to lose donors, clients, and comfort and join the resistance against Trump. Obama framed this moment in time as a reckoning, not just for MAGA extremism, but for liberal complacency. And his message to Democrats was urgent. It's no longer enough to be progressive in principle. You have to be progressive in practice, even when it costs you. In a political landscape increasingly defined by bad faith and self-interest, Obama was once again a rare voice of clarity, and he reminded us that democracy requires more than outrage. It demands action.